You got that all right? Let me help you. There, is that better? See, with everything going on nowadays, any new packages that come into the house, I like to give them a CAT scan. Hey, we got the green light. Well, howdy peeps. Larry here at the PipeCat's channel. And today we're going to do something that we've done once before. In February of 2019, we actually opened up the first delivery of a Firefly FF338 guitar. And it was in red, transparent red. And I went through the whole thing, and you've seen probably that video. And if you haven't, you should go check it out. But I, after that, acquired the blue version of the same guitar. And I went through all the setup and stuff on that one too. Well, this will be the last in a series of Firefly FF338 videos. This is the grand opening of the Spalted-Maple FF338, which only recently came back in stock, and I went out and got one. Let me show you. I have June standing guard on it. She's already approved that the package is okay for opening. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'm taking you with me. You ready? Let's get started. Pardon my my blatant athleticism getting down on the floor. I hate to show that off, but anyway. So here we are. This package literally was just dropped off at my door about 15 minutes ago. And it has not been opened in any way, and we're going to go through the whole thing together. Razoo in hand, here we go. Boom. And oops. Boom. We should be free of tape for the outer packaging. And here we go. Wow, it's like one of those Russian dolls. Did I use that joke already before? I must have. Alright. The inner box looks pretty good. What do you think? Can you see the whole thing? Yes, June. I almost killed my Strat with this. Okay. Looks pretty good. And I don't see any outer damage here. I don't see any dents, punctures. Although I will tell you this, the FedEx guy left this box upside down in my front lobby. Small side down, leaning against the wall. Just can't beat that American ingenuity. But then again, it did come from China, so it was probably in its native orientation. Here we go. Let's see what's inside the little box. Little box. Not litter box. I already know what's inside there. Oh, looky. Oh, look. A good bunch of picks with a pick holder. Huh? That's new. Cord. Truss rod adjuster. The cord they sent the first time around was nice. This cord is pretty much, well, you see what it is. Kind of junky. Let's take a look at the thing. Styrofoam packaging. And here we go. The object. The pièce de résistance. A little elastic there, a little tape right here. Warning, to avoid danger of suffocation, keep plastic bags away from babies and children. Do not use this bag in cribs, beds, carriages, or playpens. This bag is not a toy. That's just creepy. What am I going to do with it if I don't do that with it? Whatever. Open the box. Open the package. I wonder how many of these dad jokes are going to get edited out. All right, here we go. Ready? Headstock. There's a little drama going on back there in the empty boxes, too. June's trying to get shipped back to China. Actually, this came from California. The distribution center for these is in Corona, California. Little catalanch over there. The grand reveal. Spalted maple, mind you. Well, they sent me a righty. That's a good thing. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Let's look for any damage. This is always the funnest part. Nothing else left in there. Hold on, I'm going to crawl inside this and breathe. Well, I don't really have time for that right now. Oh, yeah. Let's see what we got. You can see that the pick guard was cut with the cover on it. They got the little tab to help you remove the plastic when you want to do that. But first, let's do a closer inspection and see if there was any sort of shipping damage. Right now, initially, I'm not seeing any. Typically nice coloring for these things. The finish on these is always pretty amazing. Ever the slightest bit of lateral swirl. I don't think the camera will pick that up. Maybe it will. If I put a little reflection in it, maybe you'll see. Can you see it? I can't tell from down here. But no nicks, no marks, no dents. I'm checking out the binding. Again, very impressive triple binding. See that? See that compound binding? Isn't that nice? All right, up close there. I don't know if the camera is focusing correctly or not. But I don't see any shipping damage that I should worry about. It looks like they've been rushing production a little bit on these because I'll tell you why. This pickup selector collar, I can't tell if it's got protective plastic on it or not. If it does not, then it's kind of scratched up. If it does, then that'll probably peel off. But no, I don't think it does. So that's a little bit scratched up, but I don't really care. You know, I mean, that's no one would ever see that. No broken strings. But do you see that spalted sort of... This one is not symmetrical. The ones that I've seen online and all the pictures that I saw, the spalting was symmetrical on either side. This one is not. I kind of like the idea that it's not symmetrical. You know why? Because it looks like a one-piece face now, sort of. If you have to look really close to see otherwise. Anyway, the neck. There are ever the tiniest, I mean tiny, spray overs, paint overs. They're so small that they are negligible. I bet you I'd find something like that on a Gibson if I looked hard enough. So that's pretty good. The neck is bound. The frets are the tiniest bit sharp on the edges. Not enough to really catch on, but enough so you could feel it. So I'll hit that with something and smooth that out. I usually refinish the frets anyway. This one, yeah, these frets need to be buffed out, but they appear to be they didn't bother crowning them. They just left them, you know, in the semicircle cross section. So I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, these frets are pretty pristine. I will have to buff them a little bit, I think. Let's look at the inlays. Let's look at those mother of toilet seat inlays. Well, you know what? If you were to hand do those inlays yourself, you'd run into the same issue that they apparently ran into. Because let's face it, these are mostly hand done anyway. No matter how much automation you have, most of this was assembled by hand. It has to be. These inlays, the larger ones fit really, really close. The tiniest imperfections of the drill marks, where the tiny router bit probably went, can be seen, but so tiny that it's not even worth mentioning. And then the smaller ones, from the 12th fret on up, it looks like, yeah, you can definitely see more router in the corners, in these upper corners here. You can see where they kind of, you know, the router made a mark and left it round instead of pointy. And then they filled that with something, maybe epoxy or something like that. But the inlays themselves are nice. They're not scratched. They're not cracked. They are lined up really straight. I mean, really straight. So again, I mean, I don't want to use this phrase too much in this video because I hate this phrase. For the money. For the money, what you're getting here is actually still pretty amazing. So cosmetically, I don't see any real problem. The F-holes, the insides of the F-holes they're rough. They're a little bit rough. Few people would notice that, but I know about it, so I'll probably hit that with a little something too, just to take the burrs off. It's just burr that I see. It's not like it was badly cut or anything. Yeah, less so where all the electronics were installed. This F-hole here, less rough cut. They took the burr off in order to get in there without any snags, I would imagine. The pit guard, which I normally remove, I may leave on this one. My goal here is to keep this one stock, really. That's what I'm hoping to do. Because the other two were highly modified. I may keep this one stock. I know that these pickups are going to be microphonic. They generally are. But I might find some way to pot them and see if I can keep them in here. If I get the microphonic quality down on them, I may not need to replace them or do anything else. So far, so good. Let's see how these knobs turn. Good amount of resistance. Not too much. Not too free. They are not wiggling. They're probably those little small, dime size, Chinese pots. Why wouldn't they be? But in my other guitars, I replaced them anyway, but I don't think it really made that big of a difference with them. I might just leave those alone. Like I said, I want to keep this guitar stock. So now let's see about the strings they put on them. That could be an 8 gauge, that could be a 9 gauge, I'm not sure. Oh my God, like the voices of 6 little angels who are on smack. So if I did a quick tune on this sucker. Rough ear tune just to see what we get, and the action right out of the box is maybe a tad high. It's a little bit aggressive for somebody who digs in and picks aggressively. This action might be pretty good, but you'll notice I have not played anything on this guitar yet. String is a tad too short, which we will adjust later during the setup. Same there. That one's not bad. Yeah, that was being victimized by the action. It's a little too high. But anyway, I mean, the first official chord we'll play on this guitar, let's let it be an E major 7th. Way out of tune. We'll remedy that. The acoustical qualities of these guitars are pretty amazing. Because I'm just picking this, not plugging it in or anything, and it's pretty loud. Probably a little closer. Let's try our old friend E major 7th again. I mean, it's not bad. The frets need to be polished. You've seen the initial inspection. Let's take a look at these pickups and see. I had a problem with the very first one I got, which you probably remember if you've watched the series. This pickup was kind of, looked like it had been bashed in when I took it out of the box, the initial, the red guitar. And I found out later on that it was only a stripped screw. These screws, I don't have a tool with me to check them, but that pickup is pretty well seated. It doesn't move any more than a regular PAF style pickup would move. This one might be a little bit looser, but who knows why that is. I've got to go through these screws and make sure that they're all threaded correctly and tightened correctly. And then I need to check this for electrical continuity. Just make sure everything works correctly. In fact, you know what? Why don't we do that right now? I'm going to steal a cord out of my Strat over here. And let's see. Hopefully I got enough slack in there. Can I reach the amp? Maybe. We'll start with the bridge pickup and just see what it sounds like. Make sure it works. That is your bridge pickup with a Barkey setting on my Monoprice 15 watt 112 combo, which is always you might call that my lab amp, you know. I test everything on it. I also like to jam on it a lot because it's a pretty damn good amp. So that's your bridge pickup. Initially sounds pretty good. Let's try the middle position. All the volumes and tones are up all the way. Sounds like I would expect it to sound. Let's try my favorite pickup, which is always the neck position pickup. By itself. Nice output. It seems to be pretty balanced too. These are, this bridge position pickup is about as close to the strings as I like to have it, actually. The neck position is actually a little bit further away than I like to have it, and it still has a nice output. I do that rundown all the time because it shows you really if there are any buzzes anywhere. I'm not sensing any buzzes anywhere. I don't have it set real clean anyway, so if there's a minor buzz, I probably wouldn't have heard it there anyway, but I don't feel any. My initial impression is that tonally speaking, both acoustically and electrically tonally, this Spalted Maple Firefly FF338 right out of the box, as you just saw, is superior to the other two already, and I dropped expensive pickups in those. So this might actually be a very cool acquisition, making this, mid to late November of 2020, a good time to go to the website and pick one of these up. You'll also find a representation of that website on eBay, and it might be easier to go through that way. But this came to me, the prices have gone up on these. I don't really want to say how much, but not that much. Probably about maybe 30 bucks in total, but except for some strange behavior that I see, which was actually manufactured design and not errors, like the offset mirroring of the spalted top. I mean, that was somebody's decision to do that. But you notice that the burst, that really subtle, sort of like a really subtle tan burst, it's a brown burst, very light though, and it lets so much of the wood come through. I mean, I think it's gorgeous, and you see they did a very even job with it. You see? I know the ring light and the other stuff is reflecting off it, but I think this is beautiful. So they have definitely, in my experience, in the last year and a half, improved on the tonality of this guitar, if this is any example. But I'm telling you, right now I'm happier than I thought I would be opening this up. It's got less problems than the other two had, and already sounds better. So a few extra dollars, maybe 30, 40, whatever it was, extra bucks that they put on the price in the last year and a half seems to have been worth it. Now, I can't speak to the ongoing, behavior of the guitar as it ages, of course, because it's 0 old right now. But the other two have held up nicely. The necks haven't moved. I don't expect this one to move. This is a nice, playable neck. It is not satinized. It is left in gloss, but it feels nice, just like the other two. It's kind of it's almost kind of like a shallow C shape, I would say. I don't know in technical terms what they call that shape, but it just feels like a thinner C shape, and it plays. That's not an 8-gauge string. That's got to be at least a 9-gauge string. I like that idea. Oh, and I also want to mention that I bad-talked 8-gauge strings before because, yeah, the lighter the string, the more likely one is to fail. But I've been watching some other people's sites, like, Rick Beato and people like that, talking about the benefits of 8-gauge strings. I even saw a video on 7-gauge strings. And the guy was getting some pretty amazing tone, and there are things you can do with thinner gauge strings that you can't do with thicker. But me, my hands are conditioned mostly to a 9-gauge, sometimes a 10-gauge. But I may experiment in the future with 8-gauge strings. So for now, today, I'm going to spend today going through this guitar, making sure that everything, I mean, initially it's great. I'm not one of those guys who believes that anything is playable right out of the box. I'm not one of those guys who says you can take any guitar out of the box and go play a gig with it. But if I had to play a gig with this guitar right now, I probably could. And because, I'm not a nitpicky guy. I know I seemed like it in previous videos, but I'm really not. I'm a sort of a, make-do guitar player, but that doesn't mean that I don't have quality standards. I would probably do a setup on this guitar and polish the frets. I'm not going to recrown them. They feel even to me. I'll go through with a fret rocker and make sure that there are no high or low frets, but initially I don't feel any. I would imagine that playing this for a while, I might uncover something. Oh, this has got a little bit of a buzz right here, or this is a little proud, or this is a little shy, that kind of thing. I might find something like that, and if I do, I'll deal with it. But initially, these frets are so nice, except for not being polished fully. When I polish those, I'm going to use a nail buffer to do it. I found that the white, one of those triple action nail buffers that ladies use, well, anybody uses, will take that finish to a mirror polish. Right out of the box, I'm going to give this guitar so far a high B minus, high B plus maybe an A minus. Let's go with an A minus right out of the box. So there you have it, the initial test. I may or may not add more content to this video, but thanks for hanging in there this far. I'm going to put this aside for now and come back to it with my tools. Oh yeah, the Firefly tags. Let me share those with you quickly. A Firefly, find your stage. Yeah, yours is the one in the back by the dumpsters. That's what they tell me usually. And the back of that is blank. And this other one says, ooh, here's where the names go down. Some guy named Pass with the initials of QC. The 30th of August, 2020. Still fairly fresh. Had time to settle if it was manufactured in August. And if it's settled and the neck is still that straight, and it's shipped and the neck is still that straight, I'm impressed. Honestly, I'm impressed. So QC number 5 did this, and don't make me go to China and find you 5. I know what number you are. So this is this is what it comes with. It's a nice touch. They don't even have to do that, but it makes it look nice and new. And it is nice and new. And I still like that Firefly with the JSN guitar logo. I just do. I find it cool. Okay. Well, they've gone with sort of an economy truss rod cover, which is nothing but sort of rough finished plastic. It doesn't have the film on it. It just is sort of a marbly finished plastic, and that's all right. I don't care about that. I'll put that down for now. You know what, though? The head does have a tilt in it. Not flat like a Strat, and not as tilted as maybe like a 335 would be, but somewhere in the middle. So you can't really put it flat on its back. You see, I went to put it in the box like that, and it didn't like it. That's why it comes with that cardboard insert. Styrofoam insert to the neck rest, which I have tossed over there somewhere. So for now, I'm going to stop this video, and if I'm going to add more content, I will do so. And if I do, I'll see you shortly.
themselves. Some are quick to take the bait and catch the perfect prize that waits among the shells. But all never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when I sing spinning round, 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 round. Smoke glass stained by colors, image going down, 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 down. Soap sun green like bubbles.
Sorry, that's the abbreviated version. Just wanted you to see what the guitar sounded like tonally with some nice chords. And this is the finished product, man. Unless I decide to change these pickups, which I may do, this is the way it's going to be for a while. So anyway, thanks for watching my video today. I hope that you will consider the Spalted Maple Firefly FF338 for your collection. I give it a big thumbs up. I think it is an improvement since they first came out with these. And hey, I'm just going to jam for a while. You guys have a great weekend. And a happy Thanksgiving 2020.